Learn to root online at your own pace in the comfort of your home. Visit the rebornartiststudio.com for more details. Take your reborning to the next level by visiting eBorns on YouTube. This podcast is brought to you in part by Truborns, producer of authentic kits for over 16 years. Visit truborns.com for quality vinyl reborn doll kits and silicons.
Hi everyone, I'm Lizbeth Devlin from the Reborn Artist Studio.
And I'm Emily Elliott from Eborns.
And welcome to another edition of Reborn Rap.
Yeah, welcome you guys. We have a great show coming up for you guys today. We're going to have Bobbi Barfoot, the owner of Truborns, and she also puts on Dolls of the World Expo doll show.
Yeah, we've been looking forward to talking to her because her name's come up just about in every podcast. Anybody that's got started in reborning has been Bobbi Barfoot's been behind it, for a lot of our guests anyway, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Before that, though, let's catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like we really haven't talked in a month now.
No, we used to talk all the time, and we don't talk as much as we used to. Maybe that rumor is true. Maybe we're not talking to each other.
I know. Self-fulfilling.
Exactly. Yeah, no kidding. We had a fallout that we didn't know about.
I know.
Well, I've just been up to the usual, just working on customs and blah, 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 blah. But you've got some new products coming out. Tell us all about your new products.
Oh, I do. I've expanded my powder effects line. I now have 2 vein colors and a crease color. Yeah, for now, you can get them on my website, eborns.com, but they will be at dealers soon, and I'll continue adding more products also.
Okay, so let's just recap what you've got. You've got the Melia. You've got your nail set that can be bought in like the pack of 3, but you also sell the nail colors individually.
Yeah.
And now you've added veins and creases. Is that correct?
Yep.
So you got quite a few products going out there. I don't have your veins and creases. Why is that?
I'm going to have to send it to you. I need to send it to a few people.
Oh, you know what? That would be so much easier to use.
Like you can use them when I paint. Veins are the very first thing that I do, so they can look under the skin. But what I really like about using the powders with them is that you can do it like that. You can do them first, but you can also do them lightly at the end, and somehow they look under the skin still, even though they are actually over the skin.
Okay, great. And so they can be used on heat set. You're going to bake them. For air dry. You're going to leave them to cure, and they also can be used on silicone.
Yep. All my powder products can be used on silicone. Silicone testing has officially been going on for a year now, and there's been no problems. I have a lot of silicone artists using them that are really loving them, especially the veins, especially the nails. Yeah. Because nails with silicone are so difficult.
Yeah. And it's funny because somebody messaged me and said, did you say that you can use the powders on silicone? I was like, yeah. So they listened to the podcast. Somebody listened to me, listened to my advice.
It's about time.
I was so thrilled. I know.
Yeah. Thank you to the one viewer listening to Lizbeth.
Now, if we could get Emily to listen to me, we'd be golden. And so most of those are available at the dealerships, or they can just go to your... I keep calling them dealerships, dealers.
I know.
Go to your website.
The 2 veins and creases are just on my website for now, but in the coming weeks, they'll be rolling out to dealers.
Fantastic.
But that's what I've been doing mostly. I've also been working on this baby who she's in a little lobster phase. She's ready for a green layer now, but I'm doing a class with her on my YouTube channel, which is almost done.
Fantastic.
Yeah, this is Josephine by Cassie Brace.
Oh, and now she's long sold out, right?
Yeah, and she actually cost me $850. So every layer I do for the kit. So every layer I do on this baby, I'm like, oh my God, please don't mess up. Oh, I actually had a little mishap with her where part of her foot, like on her ankle, split a little bit.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. I had a freaking heart attack. Thank God for vinyl putty is all I can say. Because now it's like, you can bend everything. It's like back to 100%.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Oh.
but I almost died. I was like,
Oh
no,
my
any kit
gosh.
but this one.
No kidding. Oh,
Or
that's
one of my
a
prototypes, I should say.
Oh, yeah. That's a nightmare. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm glad you were able to fix her.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. And then they can get information on your class by visiting eBorns on YouTube.
Yep. I'll put
And what-
the info in the description for you guys.
What is it? It's $8.99 a month. Is that right?
Yeah, $8.99 a month gets you access to the tutorials, and then you can upgrade for other stuff if you want for a little bit more.
And you also have quite a few free videos too, so people can go and check you out, see if you're worth the $8.99.
I'd be pretty sad if I wasn't, right? You're not even worth $9.
I guarantee she is. So I'm excited about Bobbi coming out. So Bobbi, a lot of people don't know this about Bobbi, but she's a little bit on the shy side. And when I first found out she was shy, I was kind of shocked. I was like, how could Bobbi Barfoot be shy?
Yeah.
But she's a little bit shy. So, but I'm looking forward to talking to her. So, and she's actually in the green room right now. So we should reach out to her. Let's get our interview going with Bobbi Barfoot.
Hi, so we're here with Bobbi Barfoot from Truborns. Hi, Bobbi.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, Bobbi. Nice to have you on the show finally.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so good to see you. You are actually our #1 requested guest from viewers. So I'm excited to have you.
Yeah, and I think your name has popped up in just about every podcast we've asked people, oh, so how'd you get your start? Bobbi Barfoot, Bobbi Barfoot. So it's been great. It's great to have you on the show so we can kind of investigate a little bit more why you keep coming up so much. So I guess one of the first things that we kind of talked about off camera that we wanted to just kind of get out of the way is a lot of people are really nervous about the tariffs and they're wondering how that's going to reflect on doll kits. So maybe, since you're in that side of the business, can you maybe enlighten us a little bit with what you see?
At this point, we haven't been affected. I know that we probably will at some point, but I've been in communication with the factory that I work with, and she is willing to work with us to still get us doll kits. And I'm going to do my best to not pass too much cost off onto the artists, because I know kits are already quite costly. So I'll do my best, but it's nothing to be scared of at this point. And the dealers, we're kind of all talking, trying to work together to make it as easy on the customer as we can.
Perfect. And because the kits, before all the tariffs hit, they were exempt from tariffs, is that correct?
Yes, in the U.S., yes.
Oh, in the U.S., okay. And because they fell under a category of dolls or toys?
Yeah, dolls are considered a toy category, and those do not have tariffs at all.
Okay, good. So it's possible that may continue.
Well, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. that will be great. And it's kind of like if we got through COVID, I'm sure it seems like whatever hurdles are put in front of, well, maybe not just us, but you, of course, too. We seem to be able to.
Complete shutdown of the factory.
Yeah.
This is just, we may have to reroute or, have shipments come in at a slower pace or something like that, but it won't stop.
Right. And the good thing is, or maybe not the good thing, but there's a lot of businesses that are kind of going through what you guys are going through. So hopefully there'll be some relief for everybody. Great. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you too. I know I keep hearing everyone's just like freaking out. I know some places are already increasing their prices, saying it's from tariffs. So it's nice to know that you're always like committed to us and trying to make sure everything stays manageable. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'm an artist myself, so I try to think from that perspective as well.
Right. Good. All right. So now we can get onto the fun stuff, huh?
Yeah.
So I guess the first question we're going to ask you is, how did you get started? Were you an artist first and then you became a dealer? Or tell us a little bit about how you got into reborning.
It was in 2006 that I was having a yard sale in front of my house, and this little girl and her grandma came, and they were looking through the baby clothes because my son was probably like 16 months old at the time, and I was getting rid of his baby stuff. And she had this doll with her that looked so real. And I asked her grandma, like, what kind of doll is that? And she said, oh, it's a Reborn. You should look on eBay. So me, right after that yard sale, I ran in the house and hopped on eBay, started looking, and I said, oh my gosh, these are so cool. Because I've always loved babies. I've always loved art. And this is like a combination of two things I love. So I went and purchased the supplies, which at the time, you know, not so easy to find blank kits and stuff, but I happened to have a Behringer doll from when I was a little kid at my house, and that was my first Reborn that I made in January of 2007. So I started as an artist, and then the following year became a dealer and a producer.
A year only took you 12 months?
That is crazy.
Yeah,
wow.
It piqued my interest. You know, I wanted to know where the kits came from. I wanted to know, like, the whole process. It was very fascinating to me. So, yeah, I got into it in 2008, that part of it.
You know, it's really incredible because, like, I came in at 2020, and so by 2020, everybody had figured out the paints. Everyone was doing, you know, different people were doing courses and teaching. But for you guys that came in earlier, I mean, you really had to learn so much more than any new artists that are coming in now.
Yeah, back then they were still using that RIT dye, that chemical dye that you put inside.
Yeah,
like an undertone. And the hair on the doll kits, you know, if you got them at the store, they were like grooved in, and you had to sand that off with like a Dremel tool. It was all, and the heads were like rock. So I think I broke like 74 needles on the first head I tried to root on.
Oh my god!
Every single stick was like snap, and then it was. But I actually sold that first baby, I think, for $300. It's hideous. But it like, oh my gosh, I made money. I actually, someone wanted my work. I was so excited.
Oh, wow. That's great.
That's awesome. And one of our viewers, actually, Donna Martin, asked this question, and I know that you touched it on a little bit, but what really made you kind of take that leap to start as a dealer? I imagine it had to be a huge, like, investment and time.
I think it was just, I had been a stay-at-home mom for many years, and I just wanted to have some small way to make some money to contribute to the household. And that's kind of what pushed me. And then my fascination about the kits and where they come from and how they're made, I just really was fascinated. I love the process.
That's awesome. And what year, so for anyone that doesn't know, you own Truborns. What year did you start Truborns?
2008.
2008. I still can't believe it was only a year. Like, that is crazy to me. Like, wow.
It was actually a different name initially. It was under my original nursery name, but somebody else took that name several years after I started, and then people were confusing us, so I changed it to Truborn.
That's awesome. And for anyone who doesn't shop at Truborns, you should. You have like really great shipping.
Yeah, it's $100, isn't it? And free shipping for over 100. Yep. Yeah.
And your eyes are my favorite. I absolutely love your like ultra newborn. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. Yeah, those we have custom made here in the U.S. by a company that makes them for movie studios.
Oh, interesting.
That doesn't surprise me, actually. They're like the most realistic eyes I've ever used.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
we have 3 new colors coming, like a darker blues, and those should be here.
Oh, really?
Probably in a week or so. So I'll share pictures when I get them.
Other products coming out that you kind of told us a little bit about.
Yeah, we have a new cuddle body that we designed with the help of Rochelle. I think Farrell is how you say her last name.
Okay.
We had a vision in mind of a cuddle body that kind of embodied all of the things we were looking for, and it was like a year process designing it, and then it's been another year getting it right at the factory, and we're almost ready to release it. But it's the coolest cuddle body.
Yeah. Yeah, and we feel kind of blessed because you did share the picture with us, which obviously we're going to keep as a big secret right now, but no one's doing a body like this, and it looks phenomenal. So I'm pretty excited to see when that's launched.
And Melody Hess, and then Jennifer Sussman Price and Kathy Romero Viscuti, we all got together and kind of came up with this design and went in on paying to have it designed.
Fantastic. Yeah. And when those are available, we'll have them on the podcast and we'll be sharing them with everybody. So do you know roughly when they'll be available?
I was hoping to have some to show at Dolls of the World, but that's pending still. So.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really excited about them. I would do more cuddle babies for sure. I love doing cuddle babies, but I think we've all seen kind of most of the bodies are like elf feet and lobster claw hands. And so I'm excited for like a good cuddle body.
Yeah, that's some of the stuff we had in mind, was being able to, put little socks on them and not have it look like,
Yeah.
And functionality too. We wanted it to move realistically.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so it's exciting. Perfect.
So without sounding too much like a suck up, I guess, I did want to talk a little bit kind of about the things that you do for the community. I think Lizbeth said this earlier, like almost every single episode we're mentioning you and something about you, because I just feel like you are such a huge support for almost everybody in the community.
And you're so quiet about it. You're so modest about it. I mean, like we had Joanna Kay on the show and she was like, oh yeah, how'd you get your start? Oh, Bobbi Barfoot. And we're like, really? And it just, I mean, so many of our guests have spoke about you giving them a star, and I would never knew that about you until they mentioned it.
Yeah, I like to reach out to people who've never done things, never made a kit, never done a prototype, and offer things to people. Because a lot of times I see comments where people are like, why do the same people always do prototypes? Why? They kind of feel left out or like their work's not seen. And there's so many good artists out there who just haven't been found yet, or Facebook's algorithms are not showing their work as much or something. And so they feel unseen, but they're super talented. So I like looking for those kind of people and offering them something, or looking on sculpting pages and seeing talent and say, hey, would you be interested? And it's a risk, of course. When you take someone new in, nobody knows their names. A lot of time names sell kits, like people don't know. So it's a challenge and sometimes a risk to take on a new person that nobody knows, but they deserve a chance.
And it must be so good for the sculptors who they know how to sculpt, but they don't know the process, or they're starting to learn how to sculpt and they don't have an understanding of what happens next. And then you've got you who you've done this so many times and you've got so many connections. Yeah, it's just wonderful.
I mean, I love seeing them, like Joanna, go off on their own and do self-production. And then I get to be a dealer for her now. And we've been friends for years. And it's amazing to see the progression of the sculptors.
Yeah, we did have, I know you produce a lot of sculpts, and we did have some viewer questions too around sculpt production. The first one is from Daniela, and she wanted to know, like, how do new sculptors get on your radar?
Sometimes they reach out to me. They'll either message me through my page, website, Facebook, and just send me pictures. Hey, I'm a sculptor. Are you interested? Other times I will just be scrolling around and come across something, or, Bonnie Brown has that Sculpt Along page, and there's some great artists on there that have yet to be discovered, So I keep my eye out for potential talent, because usually if someone's good, they're only going to get better.
Right.
Yeah. Is there anything specifically that you look for in a sculpt that makes you go, oh yes, I'm gonna produce that?
A lot of times it's just what I think the community would want or enjoy. That's usually what I'm looking for. And of course it's got to be proportionate and things like that. But, if it's something that I think, oh, that one, the artist would love to paint that. That's usually what draws me in.
And I'm sure after all these years too, you've got an eye. You can just say, "Oh, when something catches your eye, you know exactly."
I've put money into sculpts before that. I sold maybe 5 in the whole world.
Oh, really?
That. Yeah. Sometimes it's like I said, it's a risk, but you do it knowing that we're aware it's a risk. So I know some people aren't willing to take that risk, but I try to give those sculptors a chance. And if I've got a couple kits that don't do well, I might back off a little bit so that I'm not homeless. It's costly, so I definitely have to be careful.
So do you have a number that, like, do you limit yourself to how many you take on? I mean, if you see 5 amazing, sculpts, will you take those all on at once, or do you kind of space it out a little bit? Or
reach out to the sculptors and just let them know that if they work with us, it might be, a time frame involved, because I can't send them all at the same time. And if they're still willing to do that, then that's fine. But if they were like, no, I want it now, then they may have to reach out to somebody else.
And I know you talked, I should have asked this like a few minutes ago, but I'll bring it back up again. When we were talking about you giving so many prototype artists their start, what advice would you give people wanting to become prototype artists? I should say you gave me, I don't even know if you remember, this was like 10 years ago. You gave me the absolute best advice, and I repeat it to my students. Like, I'm always saying, oh, Bobby said this and it's the best, which was to treat every single baby like you create, to treat that like a prototype, and eventually you will. But do you have other advice?
Share your work. A lot of people are afraid to share, they have and take constructive criticism, because I know that can be helpful. So some people have beautiful work, but maybe they need a little work on their photography or something. So if someone says, oh, you just need to fix this one little thing, and then we could see the details better, and maybe that would help. So I always say, share your work and then take constructive criticism, because it's so helpful, and don't view it as like an attack on yourself personally. Yeah. View it as help, and that's what we're here for, is to help each other to get better, because everyone can get better. Even the best can get better.
Absolutely.
That's why I don't like the term master, because, I feel like everyone has room to grow constantly.
And actually, speaking about getting a start, you were so gracious to give me 2 prototypes. I don't have them yet. I'm not going to mention their names. I'm not going to share any information with them, but I'm just so excited. And I kept hearing that Bobby gave so many people a start. So when you gave me a start, I was like, I actually cried when I got the first one. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And Joylyn was also part of that as well. She always gives me recommendations of people as well. So she keeps her eye out in the industry too, and she'll say, "Hey, have you seen this person? Have you seen their work?" And then I'll go look.
Yeah, I love Joy. She's just a wonderful individual. She really is. She's a sweetheart. Yeah.
Yeah, I should say, yeah, thanks a lot, Bobby. Before we know it, Lizbeth's head's not going to fit in the screen.
No, I'm in that, the first thing that happens is you're so excited about it, and you're telling, anybody that you can tell, because obviously you can't tell a lot of people, but then it suddenly hits you like, oh, can I do this? So I'm in that like heart palpitation stage. Like, can I do this? Yeah, I can. You can do it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Maybe I shouldn't be telling you that. As far as prototype artists, is there anything else that you look for in a prototype artist?
I keep my eye out for people who have like good standing in the industry, who are, positive and encouraging to other artists. I think if you are engaging in a lot of negativity or, controversial topics, it can be very off-putting. I know people will say, hey, I'd never get prototypes, but then if you go look on their page, it's filled with controversy and, negativity, and that, the sculptors can feel like that's going to reflect on them. So
yeah, that's a really good point, actually, because you have to be respectful of the sculptor or the person that selects you. You're forever carrying their name with you, kind of thing. Emily and I talk about that too with a podcast, where we have to be very respectful of the guests that come on. Forever you're going to be connected to this podcast, and we have to respect that and not get involved with any of the garbage that goes on sometimes in the Reborn community or any political conversations.
It's a place where we get to leave all that behind and just enjoy the art and each other. And so if you're bringing it in, it kind of dims the light of the industry.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And like I've said many times, nobody wants to work with the jerk. You just heard it here again.
Yeah.
And Joy Wong actually had a question about production. She wanted to know, what is the most rewarding part of the production process for you?
I honestly think it's just seeing the excitement from the sculptors. Like, they have so much excitement through the process, and I try to share as much of it as I can with them, so that it's like Christmas for them. And I think that, and then seeing all the different versions of it once it comes out, is such a cool thing, because it almost can look like different kits. They can be done so differently. And so I think that, seeing everyone painting them and all the photos online, it's so amazing to me. I've always loved the production process.
I love that. I actually didn't think about that. Like, working with so many new sculptors, I'm sure that excitement level is like on steroids compared to, I'm having my 200th kit produced. So that would be awesome to be a part of that.
So speaking about sculpt, your son was actually sculpt. Levi, your son, is that correct?
Yes, Levi is my son. Yes, when he was born, Bonnie reached out to me and asked me if she could sculpt him. And I said, of course, like, what an honor. And she had me take a ton of pictures and measurements and send them all to her. And the end result was a perfect replica of him.
I love the Levi kit too. And there's so many different versions of him out there now. So what did your son Levi think of that?
When he was young, he recognized his kit. He would say, that's me. That's me.
Oh.
Online, he would see pictures. And then he came to the doll show the first year in 2023 as like a special guest to take pictures and stuff. But he's a very shy kid. So he was like, Mom, people are touching me. Like,
oh, poor guy.
He was like so nervous to have, but now that he's 10, he says he wants to come back to the show and that he won't be scared and he will, let everybody take pictures with him. And
that's lovely.
He knows that his kit was pretty popular. Because I always tell him, I say, your kit is so popular.
It is, yeah.
I know. He's probably the most popular one out there. I don't think I know anyone who hasn't painted a Levi, actually.
So people can bring their Levi to the doll show then this year?
Yeah, he actually was signing his name on the bodies.
Oh, that is so cute.
I love it. I love it.
He might be there this year for a little while.
Okay, all right. Well, and speaking about doll shows, you want to tell us a little bit about the doll show coming up?
Dolls of the World 2025. This is our third year. We have moved to Greensboro, North Carolina from Raleigh. We outgrew the Raleigh location as far as attendees. We didn't, we were taking up the whole hotel and we needed more room. So we found a larger place. There's the Sheraton Greensboro Four Seasons, which is where we'll be this year, that has a lot more rooms. We didn't want to expand the show floor too much other than winding the aisles. We don't want to be a massive show vendor wise. We want attendees. We want people to come and have fun. I think when the show floor is too big, it can be overwhelming. So we're trying to keep it modest and then just make a fun time for everyone.
Fantastic.
A place to forget about the world and what's going on and just dive into friends and dolls.
Oh, yeah. And I saw some video, I think it was from last year. And I mean, you got a great turnout. There's a lot of people showed up for the doll show. The lines outside just went on and on and on as people were waiting to get into the show.
Yeah, I think we had 1,500 people there.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
And we've sold more rooms this year. So hopefully that's a good sign that we'll have even more people.
Yeah. Well, it's a good location and it's a good time of the year as well. So that
yeah, summertime's great because their kids are out of school and they can bring their kids or leave them at home and come have some girl time.
Gosh, you're a busy lady. So you paint, you're helping sculptors, you're helping artists, you've got Truborns and the doll show too. Like, what does Bobbi do on her downtime?
Silicone.
Oh, that's right. He cans as well.
And I sculpt as well when I have a moment.
It's just crazy.
There's not enough hours in the day most These days, I do have my oldest son helping me. He helps me cast the silicone. He's also a budding artist in the industry, and he will have a table at the doll show this year.
Oh, fantastic. What's his name?
Awesome.
Brendan.
Wait, Brendan? Okay,
Brendan
fantastic.
Perez, yeah. His nursery is Sukuna babies. I'm excited for him because he took Susan Gibbs' class at the show last year and learned to paint silicone, and he really enjoys it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
He's also sculpting, and he is very interested in fantasy sculpting. So he made this little like rainforest frog. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're like these really fat frogs, and they have little butt cheeks. Like I've never seen a frog with butt cheeks. And he sculpted it, and he's going to make silicone frogs.
Fantastic.
That's awesome. And so for anyone who doesn't know, what are the dates of the show?
The actual show is June 21st and 22nd, Saturday, Sunday. Classes will be the 17th, 18th, and 19th. And then the setup is on the 20th for the vendors.
All right. And then can tickets be bought at the door? Because I presume all the early birds have gone by now.
Yeah, early birds are sold online. Those sell out in seconds. But everyone else can buy tickets at the door. Yeah, fantastic. We tried to do online ticket sales, and it was very disproportionate to who actually showed up. So the first year we sold online and only sold a small amount of tickets, and then a whole bunch of people showed up. So we just figure it's easier to sell them there.
Okay. What's the entry to get in?
$15 on Saturday and $10 on Sunday.
Fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, good prices.
I don't think anyone else does that. That's really great. And what kind of classes are going on this year?
We have a lot of classes this year. One of the exciting classes we have is Izzy Zhao is coming to teach a kids sculpting class.
Oh, that's awesome.
Before at a show. So she reached out to me and said she was interested, and I thought, what a fun class. You know, that's our next generation of artists and sculptors. Yeah. So get them started young, you know.
Yeah.
We have silicone painting, fantasy silicone painting. We have heat set paints, silicone seaming and repair, which is great for people who do silicones and need to make small repairs.
Great.
Hair painting. We have rooting. I think there's 10 classes this year. It's more than any other year so far. So
that's fantastic. Is there any spaces in the classes, or how do they get the information? Just by going to the website?
Yeah, on the website, each class has its own little advertisement, and the teacher's information's on there. Everything's done directly through the teachers. Like we make no money off the classes. We lead the teachers to that. That's their
fantastic. And we'll put a link in the description. So, Bobbi, do you know if there's still any rooms left at the hotel?
Our room block for the show price is pretty much sold out. But the hotel does have 900 rooms, and there's plenty of rooms at the actual hotel.
Fantastic. Well, Bobby, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. I know that you're a super, super busy lady, so we really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. I was so excited to finally get to talk to you ladies.
Yeah, I had so much fun. I hope we can have you back on again.
Anytime.
All right. Yeah, and so we'll be putting some information on the doll show in the comments. So if you guys have any questions, reach out to Bobby, or maybe we shouldn't say reach out to Bobby, but
No.
Reach out to me. You can reach out to Melody. We're both available.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you again for joining
All right.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi everyone, this is a late update to the podcast. This is Bep. Bep has been sculpted by Joy Lynn Wong. She is produced by Bobbi Barfoot of Truborns. I'm very happy to announce that she is my first ever prototype and I'm absolutely thrilled. Bep will be released around about mid-June and there'll only be 700 kits available. So mark your calendars and don't miss out on this wonderful, wonderful kit, Bep by Joy Lynn Wong.
I absolutely love Bobbi.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart, isn't she? And she's so shy.
I know. I felt like we could have just talked for like hours and hours.
Yeah. She's got so much knowledge about the industry. And I mean, seriously, she starts painting. A year later, she's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to become a dealer.
Yeah, I know, right?
I love it. Love it.
I know. She's pretty inspirational. I didn't say this either in the episode, but I'll say it now. You know, she is always so willing to give you advice. Like, she has been instrumental for me in expanding my business into other products and stuff. Like, if you're not friends with Bobbi, you should be.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the time we look at these individuals in the community that are really successful, you know, like your Bobbies, your Susan Gibbs, your Joanna Kay, and we think that we can't approach them. But every single one of them that we've approached to come on the show, or, you know, like we knew them before the show, they're all really, really friendly and willing to help.
Oh, yeah.
They really are. And they love it. They love it. They really, like, you know, Bobbi was saying, they like to see our growth and like to encourage us in our growth. And they get super excited when we kind of approach them and say, hey, do you mind if I ask you a question? but, you know, they're definitely approachable. I don't know where we get that opinion that they're not approachable, but they're all just absolutely lovely. And then something that we never we always forget to mention this, but whenever we release the podcast, we do like a live premiere. So if the podcast is out at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, I, and a lot of the time our guests will be watching the premiere, and there's live chat on there. So if you want to chat to any of the guests that we've had on the show, watch the premiere. So we're going to keep prompting people about that.
Yeah, we will remember to keep saying it. But so yeah, next month, tune in. I always have a good time. I know you do too, I'm sure, but it's just fun being able to talk to everybody while the episode's playing. And
yeah, it's great. Cool. And, you know, we don't have a huge amount of people there. So it's nice to have it's kind of like personal, being able to chit chat with everyone.
It's a fun little community. We have usually like 20, 30 people, maybe maximum. So you can all chat and kind of remember what each other is saying. Like, it's fun. You should join us.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're getting to that time again.
We are. I feel like I should push my microphone back because I feel like I'm going to hit it. I don't have enough space. I have two contacts in. Maybe that is what it is.
You have two contacts in?
Well, yeah, because I have two eyes, but I have new contacts because I went to the eye doctor and they changed my prescription, but I feel like my depth perception might be a little bit
I don't know why
funky.
When you said two contacts, I was thinking you had two in each ear. Two in each ear.
Two in each ear.
Two in each eye. Oh my God.
Oh my God. You want to hear something horrible? That happened to me one time.
What?
I forgot to take one out of my eye for some reason. Maybe I thought I did. Who knows what happened? But I ended up having two. They were stuck all the way behind my eye. I had to go to the hospital and get them taken out because my eye, like, oh my God. It was horrible. I don't know why I'm talking about that. Try to gross you guys out. It was horrific. If you wear contacts, take them out every night.
Yeah, I've actually had that too. I've had 2 contacts, but I was able to get the other one out. So it was not the first time I put 2 things in my...
I'm sure it's not.
I thought you were going to say you ended up with a contact in your ear, like you took it out and forgot
I'm not that dumb. Not yet, anyways. Come back to me in 5 years.
All right. Seriously, this conversation is completely going in the wrong direction. Oh, dear. All right. You ready?
I'm ready. All right.
Reborn
Reborn
Rap.
Rap.
That's
the wrap.
You're so slow.
I know. Are we allowed to tell people I'm not feeling well?
Yeah,
I've
she's
been
not feeling
very
good.
Ill.
She's very ill. God
So,
bless your little
that's
cotton
why.
socks.
If I wasn't ill, it would have been on point.
That's right, because when she's not sick, she's always on point.
Yep, always, every time. I'm going to gaslight them until they believe it.
All right, guys, thank you for watching. Remember, be kind to each other out there. Compliment some artists, follow those sculptors, follow Bobbi, and make sure you check out her website for all the latest kits.
Yeah.
Truborns.com. That's
It'll be in the description.
All right, guys.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.